last night. Corrina, we stayed last night. Come in this morning, sun was shining bright. I love Corrina, tell the world I do. I love Corrina, tell the world I do. Oh, a little more loving, let your heart be true. I left Corrina for across the sea. I left Corrina for across the sea. She didn't write me no letter, she didn't care about me. I say, Green Corrina, where you been so long? Well, Corrina, where you been so long? Ain't had no loving since you've been gone. Alright, let's get through the break again. A little rough. Alright, Corrina. Nobody knows the origin of this tune. The Mississippi Sheiks recorded it in 1928. The history's a little murky. Alright, so Blind Lemon Jefferson. Blind Lemon Jefferson recorded a similar tune about, 5 years earlier. Even 5 years before that, there was a popular tune that Vernon Dallard recorded. Now, Vernon Dallard he was the Elvis of his day. Literally Vernon Dallard. We would listen to him now, and we think he sounds a little, old-fashioned, and the music's very stiff. Okay, but at the time, he was, the most popular musical figure in America. So we don't really know if Corrina Corrina was a folk tune. It probably was. I would bet it was a folk tune, but it could be that Vernon Dallard did his version and people picked up a bit of verse here and there and went with it, right? Because it's also somewhat similar to C.C. Ryder, which, of course, Blind Lemon Jefferson was the first to record. Also, probably a folk tune. Oh, C.C. Ryder. Oh, see what you have done. C.C. Ryder. Made me love you. Now your man has come. You play that 1,000 different ways. I promise I would do that one, and we'll get some nice little mess up the neck, and But nobody knows the origin of the tune Corrina Corrina. Corrina's an odd name. It's not really what you would consider an American name. It's really more of a name of Spanish descent, and it may come from the Caribbean islands. It may be a Creole song. Nobody knows, but I like the history of music. If you don't, cool. But Mississippi Sheiks. Last week I did a very complex, I guess you would say, a more challenging, advanced song by the Mississippi Sheiks. This time I decided to do a very simple one. I actually went back and watched the old Alan Lomax film with Sam Chapman. And if you haven't seen it, oh my gosh. Sam Chapman and Mississippi John Hurt. Man, I could listen to those two guys all day. And of course, they both did this song, and it was really, really good. And they played it simple. You can play it simple. I'm going to show you how to play it simple. But remember, C.C. Ryder has been recorded by everyone from, of course, the Mississippi Sheiks to Dean Martin. Corrina Corrina, I meant. Bob Wills probably recorded the song about 10 times with the with Texas Playboys. I'm getting my tongue all twisted here. Bob Wills, Texas Playboys. My favorite band of all time, actually. Probably recorded Corrina Corrina, yeah, about 2 dozen times, probably, you know. It's been recorded by Fats Domino. It's been recorded by, who was it, Gene Pitney? No, no, that can't be right. Anyway, 1950s, big hit. It became a pop tune. Again, we're talking literally, you know, almost 30 years after it was recorded. This is one of those songs you got to learn. This is like Wildwood Flower. If you play any kind of country or bluegrass, you got to play Wildwood Flower. If you play any kind of blues, you got to do Corrina Corrina. Every jazz band did it. You know, huge, right? So let's go simple, and then I'm going to show you if I were to play it in a Western swing style, which is what Bob Wills did. I'm going to jazz it up just a little bit, okay? I'm just going to give you a few tips to jazz up your chords. Let's see. I could probably do a Merle Travis style solo, break, whatever, and something a little more along the lines of Eldon Shamblin or Jimmy Weibo or Junior Barnard or, you know, man. Bob Wills had some of the greatest guitar players of all time. I mean, if you have not listened to the Mississippi Sheiks, go listen to the Mississippi Sheiks, okay? If you haven't listened to Bob Wills, shame on you. to quote Spade Cooley, shame on you. All right, so we're going to start out of an open C. Where's my fretboard? There we go. Oh, good old open C. And I'm going to hammer on. Hit the wrong string. That's actually the trick on this song. It's real simple, but you got to hit the right string, which can sometimes be harder than it sounds. But I'm going to take my thumb on this one, and I'm going to hit that open G string. And, yeah, I pop the strings a little on this one. I mean, I dig in there. I don't know why. It just feels right. Oops, I hit the wrong string. All I'm doing is dropping that pinky right on the D note. The D note is actually the melody note for most of this song, but Corrina, we've been so long. Tell me, Corrina, up to F, where you been so long. Still just playing that D note. Ain't had no lovin'. G, where are my pants? Okay, G with the D note again. Yeah, literally the D note is the melody note for almost the entire song. E, D, with the alternating bass. That's it. It's super simple, right? I mean, love it. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. I mean, I think you can tell that. But okay, so super simple. That's essentially the John Hurt version. That's essentially the Sam Chapman version. Sam Chapman was his brother or uncle who actually wrote the song. Wasn't copyrighted until 1932. So again, there were 1,000 versions of it even before it got copywritten. But now, okay, so let's say you're not a thumb picker, or let's say you are a thumb picker, but you want to play in a Western swing band. So you're going to want to use jazz chords. Instead of playing open C, okay, now I should qualify, yeah, I really should. Most of the books written on Western swing guitar playing are complete, utter bullshit. I'm not kidding you. I mean, seriously. They will say that you should play C major 7, C7, C6, C. I've listened to every Milton Brown song. I've listened to every Merle Travis song. I've listened to every Hank Thompson with Merle Travis, Hank Penny, 47 guys named Hank. I never heard anybody stick with that. Okay, maybe they did. I'm not saying nobody ever did. Junior Barnard did. Junior Barnyard was a freaking rock and roller in the 1940s. I mean, he played with distortion, and Eldon Shamblin loved his bass lines. Okay, so I'm going to think about this a little bit, and I'm just making this up as I go. Okay, I'm thinking let's do a bass line. So I'm going to try to kind of imitate that, right? So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with a C6 because the C6 is the Western swing chord. The G6 is C6. Western swing, that's what really differentiates Western swing from bebop. The 6 chord was key. In more modern jazz, the major 7 is key. Major 7 is a very hard chord to sing with. Western swing, being an older style of jazz, is all about the 6. The 6 chord is very easy to sing with. Dixieland, and yes, I call it Dixieland. I am part Creole, and I don't give a crap if you don't like the name Dixieland. It's Southern music. Therefore, it is Dixieland music, and it doesn't have a thing to do with race. Dixieland is normally played out of major chords, just like we just did, okay? You go back, Johnny St. Cyr and all those phenomenal musicians. They weren't playing 6s and 7s and well, they were playing 7s, but they weren't playing 6s and major 7s. They sure weren't playing a lot of 9s. A 9 would be a little color you'd add. All right, sounds good, right? But I mean, you know, for the most part, they were playing major chords, and that's because they were banjo players that became guitar players. You know, Lonnie Johnson was very, very, very advanced, and he and Eddie Lang really add a lot of color. But yeah, so literally screw you if you don't like the name Dixieland. I don't care. I'm Southern. My family's been here since the 1600s. Every single genre of American music, from rock and roll to blues to jazz to country to funk, is all Southern music. And it's Dixieland. Get over it, okay? Now, total aside, let's look a little bit at how I might approach a Western swing version of this. Okay, so I'm going to take the C6 chord, which is super simple. There's nothing complicated about C6, okay? Here's my old Larrivee fretboard, and I'm going to lay my pinky finger down on the 5th string. I'm going to put 2 fingers down here. C6 is also an A minor. C6 and A minor are essentially the same chord, minus 1 note. See? You just went from C6 to A minor. Woo! Fancy guitar stuff. No, not really. So let's. I'm thinking sort of a progressing bass line. I want to voice the bass, in other words. So yeah. All right. So I don't know. Where would I go for that? I want to go. I want to go to E7. E minor 7. E minor 7 is the 6th note. So C, D, E, F, G. Wait, C, D. No, it's the 3rd. C, D, E, obviously. You can always substitute the 3rd or the 6th for the 1. Remember that. So if C is, I can go to E minor 7. I can go to A minor 7. I like that, actually. Let's see what I can do with that. Oh, yeah. F to A minor 7, because F, G, A, that's the 3rd, so. Oh, yeah. And G7, 2, 5, 1. Oh, man, I love that. I love Western swing. I really do. So let's do it again. That was D minor 7, D minor 7, G7, 1, C6. So I went 1 beat too long, but yeah. Western swing. All right, so what would I do with solo with that? I'm thinking fiddles, and I'm thinking steel guitar. I'm going to try to do, I said I'd try to do a Merle Travis type solo first. So I want to do a double stop. Yeah. Yeah, so. Ooh, yeah, that's very Travisy. I like that. So let's go. All right, I'm gonna hit the E and G. I'm gonna. That sounds even better. Oh yeah. F-shaped C chord. Drop the little pinky. E, D, C. Let's go with an F chord. Long E, long C, I'm sorry. A-shaped C chord, moved up. G7. Yeah, we'll go E, D, C. It's an option. That's, yeah. What would I do if I wanted to do more of an Eldon Shambler, Junior Barnard style? Maybe, I don't know. All right, probably using a pick, but I'm just using my fingernail. Oh, wait, I could even go. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, get another double step right there. Oh, let's do a substitute for the G7. There's 1,000 things you could do, right? All right. So this is a song you can have a lot of fun with. So that's all I'm really trying to emphasize. You can do it. Just to be nice, I'll go through that chord progression again because the solos are, whatever you want to do. So, walk into it. We'll always walk into it. All right, don't have to, but keep that in the back of your mind because it gives you extra notes. But. And the original Sam Chapman, John Hurt. I use my thumb on that hammer on from G to A. I don't know why. It just works better. Play it however you like. As Mike Bloomfield said, take these blues and play them however you like. You think about this. I mean, this is what's cool to me. We're sitting here. I guess it's June 29. It's a Sunday afternoon in the year 2025, and the Chapmans, the Mississippi Sheiks, wrote this song 100 years ago. And it has been taken and played by everybody from Bob Dylan to, I don't even know, everybody. And everybody's done it their own way. And they've all done it different. And you can play it blues, you can play it jazz, you can play it country. music has no boundaries. If if you only listen to one genre of music, you're never going to be a good musician. I'm sorry, you won't. I mean, that's really the problem with a lot of bluegrass. They only listen to bluegrass, and it becomes very repetitive. The same thing's true of many different genres. I mean, contemporary country. These guys are only listening to other contemporary country artists and maybe some pop music, and they don't know how bad they are. I mean, literally, they suck, and they don't know that. Okay, definitely true of most pop musicians, most all rappers. Rap is not even a legitimate form of music. In order to have music, you have to have rhythm and melody. Rap has no melody, so rap is not music. Sorry. But yeah, even if you're a straight up folk musician, if you never listen to outside sounds and rhythms and melodies and harmonies, and you're not going to progress as a musician. I wish I could remember his name. My gosh, he was so good. He was from he was from Texas, I think Houston area. I'm gonna have to look it up. Maybe I can tell you next week. He was such a good guitar player. I mean, 1960s, this guy blew everybody out of the water. He was the main songwriter for Donovan. And, everybody knows Donovan. Nobody knows his name. And he played everything. He played jazz, he played folk, he played country, he played rock and roll. I mean, whoa, right? And you know what? One day he just walked away and became an EMT. Yeah, he just did search and rescue. He's just like, nobody is listening enough for me to continue to be a musician. And that's not by any means an isolated incident. What was his name? The bass player that was with the Faces for a while, with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood, Tetsuya or something. He was Japanese. Okay, he did the same thing. He said basically no one's listening, and he went home and became a farmer. Do yourself a favor. I mean, you don't have to do like me. I literally spent years listening to every single recording ever made between 1916 and 1915 through the Library of Congress. Yeah, I did. But listen to other genres. If you love Hank Williams, listen to James Brown. If you love Muddy Waters, listen to, oh heck, some Celtic music, right? I mean, listen. And the more you listen, the better you'll play. Seriously, when I'll be playing a lot of times, and my fingers do something my brain hasn't even thought of yet. And I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. I'm not going to claim I am. But guys like Jimi Hendrix, guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan, guys like, do you want me to name the greatest guitarists of all time? We'll start with Eddie Lang and Lonnie Johnson, and guys like that. A lot of the time, were kind of tuned out while they were playing. Their fingers were doing stuff their mind was not even on, because a lot of them were really high. I mean, seriously, and using drugs or getting drunk does not make you a better guitar player. But if you're a really, really good guitar player, you can just kind of check out. I've seen a lot of guys. I've seen Junior Brown's not. Okay, let me just explain this. Junior Brown is not a drunk or a drug addict. Yeah. I'm not saying he doesn't, imbibe occasionally, but, Junior Brown will come out and play perfectly solo and blow your freaking mind. So will Reverend Horton Heat. Horton Heat. He's not a reverend, but Horton. These guys are phenomenal guitar players, but they're having a good time. They're interacting with the audience. Their hands are on autopilot a lot of the times. And in order to do that, your instrument has to become an extension of your voice. It has to be singing for you, and you have to listen to a lot of music. Perfect example, Bill Kirchen, Hot Rod Lincoln Live. He will go on that thing for 30 minutes and he starts throwing in licks from every guitar player you've ever heard. I mean, he is freaking awesome, honestly. Love Bill Kirchen. You can't do that if you're thinking. You literally have to kind of check out a little bit. And the only way you can do that, and again, it's not a matter of drugs, it's not a matter of alcohol. If anything, that will make your playing worse. Couple of drinks, no problem. But I mean, you know what I mean. I can give you a fantastic example. Joe Pass. Joe Pass was the best. Joe Pass and Ted Green were two of the best guitar players of all time. Both were heroin addicts. And you can totally tell when they're high. They suck. I mean, literally. The two best guitar players in the world, their music just became dull and uninteresting. So don't think I'm advocating drug use at all because, I love Janis Joplin. I love Billie Holiday. The albums where they were really on heroin, their voices become flat and dull. Probably like mine is today, but I got a little sinus issue going on. Their voices become flat and dull, and it was a real shame. You want to play your instrument until you can play your instrument without thinking about it. That's it. All right. I wish I had some dice. I'd roll them. What's a chord? D chord. What am I gonna do? Yeah, that's fun, right? That's Buckaroo. Buckaroo, classic instrumental by Buck Owens, and his phenomenal guitar player who died in a tragic motorcycle accident. If you can't pick up a guitar and do that without thinking, practice. Practice, practice, practice. I am not the best guitar player in the world. I am by no means am I Jeff Beck or anything like that. Yeah, Satriani. I mean, I could go down. Frank Zappa was a freaking awesome guitar player. I could go down the list. But the deal is, sit in front of your television. Sit there, go. There we go. I went from D to C, but walk up. Play chords all over the neck. Bend strings. Let it become a voice. Let it become your voice. Let your guitar become your voice. And the best thing to do to make that happen is to hum or whistle along. But always remember, your guitar is your voice. And what does this have to do with a great old song by the Mississippi Sheiks, Sitting on Top of the World? Not a damn thing. It's like the... Speaking of it being Sunday, Justin Wilson used to tell a story about these two little boys grew up in Louisiana together. One was Catholic, the other was Baptist. And I'm Catholic. I'm actually a convert from being Baptist, so I can really appreciate this. He said that they were the best friends. You could not separate these kids. And the only time they were separated was on Sunday morning, when one would go to the Catholic church, the other would go to the Baptist church. So eventually the parents said, let's let them go to church together. One Sunday they'll go to this church, and then the next Sunday they go to the other church. So first Sunday they go to the Catholic church. And don't know if you've ever been in a Catholic church, but it's a little different than a Protestant church. You go in and you dip your fingers in holy water, and you cross yourself, and then before you sit down, you genuflect. That means you touch your knee to the ground in front of the altar where the Eucharist is, the host, body and blood of Christ. And throughout, there are very many things you do. So the little Catholic boy just explains beautifully, just this is what we're doing now, and this is what's going to happen next, and this is what you do, and it was great, right? So the next Sunday they go to the Baptist church, and they go in, and they're singing hymns, and of course, Protestant hymn singing, I love it. I grew up on it. My grandfather was a great Protestant hymn singer. So was my grandmother. So was my mother, actually. They're really good. Very different tradition than the Catholic Church. Very, very different. So, they go in, and everybody's singing, and they sit down, and preacher comes out, and he gets ready to do his sermon. And he takes off his watch, and he puts it right on the lectern, whatever you want to call it, in front of him. And the little Catholic boy says to the Baptist boy, "Why do you do that?" And the Baptist boy said, "Don't worry about that. That don't mean a damn thing." Look, I've been in sermons that went 45 minutes or longer. I know exactly what he's talking about. I used to be good friends with Reverend Dr. Jerry Falwell, which, believe it or not, depends on what media you watch. You may think he was not a good guy. He was actually, my gosh, Dr. Falwell was one of the finest men I've ever known in my entire life. Big-hearted, generous, protective, one of the finest men I've ever known in my life. And, someone said last week I was doing that Mississippi Sheiks song and I was playing out of D like that, right? And they're like, my hands aren't big enough. I'm like, yeah, well, I do have almost Tal Farlow sized hands. I mean, Talmadge Farlow from North Carolina could put his finger down here on that G chord and stretch it clear up to, where am I? I'm on the 10th fret, right? Tal could go to the 12th. So I have giant hands. Dr. Falwell's hands were like hams. I mean, they were huge. And if he slapped you on the back, he'd probably knock you down. I mean, wow. And he was a mountain of a man. And he was a very good man, regardless of what you may have heard. So hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm a little more loose on this one because this is a song I have been playing for 30 years. And I play it 5 different ways at least, and I hope at least I gave you something you can work with. So anyway, y'all have a good week. Talk with you next time.